You lived an entire life before the age of 3. You were born, opened your eyes, and heard your mother's voice. You tasted food, took your first steps, and said your first word. Yet, you remember none of it. 0 memories. Most people think your brain just wasn't ready. But that's wrong. Your tiny figure brain was actually recording everything. We know babies can remember. In the 1980s, Carolyn Rovi Collier at Rutgers University ran a notable, elegant experiment. She tied a ribbon from a tiny figure's ankle to a mobile. The tiny figure learned that swift move made the mobile move. With courage and skill, the warrior stands ready. His movements are precise, his purpose clear. 2-month-olds remembered for days, while 6-month-olds remembered for weeks. Infant brains can learn, store, and recall information. Infant brains can learn, store, and recall. But those memories don't last. By adulthood, every trace is gone. By adulthood, every trace is gone. And for decades, scientists couldn't fully explain why. The first part is structural. The hippocampus, a small curved form deep in your brain, is the engine of memory formation. It allows you to take a lived experience, for it's like a birthday or a walk in the rain, and encode it as an episode you can replay. In adults, the hippocampus works with the prefrontal cortex to tag, store, and retrieve memories. But in infants, this system is underdeveloped. Connections between the hippocampus and cortex are still being built. Key regions like the dentate gyrus aren't fully wired until ages 2 to 4. Your infant brain could form short-term memories, but couldn't move them to long-term storage like an adult brain. That's only half the story. What comes next is even stranger. In 2014, neuroscientists in Toronto discovered something that changed how we think about infant memory entirely. What if the very process that builds your brain is also what transforms your memories? In the first years of life, your hippocampus is producing new neurons at an extraordinary rate. This is called neurogenesis. It's essential. These new cells wire up the circuits you'll use forever. But there's a cost. Every time a new neuron integrates, it disrupts the connections already there. The connections holding your memories. To test this, they ran experiments on mice. When they increased neurogenesis in adult mice, they started forgetting things they'd previously learned. When they slowed neurogenesis in infant mice, they held on to memories much longer than normal. The results, published in Science, pointed to a deeply counterintuitive conclusion. Your tiny figure brain wasn't too weak to hold memories. It was just way too busy growing. In 2014, 2 neuroscientists in Toronto discovered something that changed everything we knew about infant memory. It's truly groundbreaking. Sheena Jocelyn and Paul Franklin had a wild idea. What if building your brain actually transforms your memories? In your first years, your hippocampus is pumping out new neurons at an insane rate. We call this neurogenesis. But there's a catch. Every time a new neuron joins the party, it's swift move out the old connections holding your memories. When we boosted neurogenesis in adult mice, they started forgetting. When we slowed it in babies, they remembered longer. The conclusion? Your tiny figure brain wasn't too weak to hold memories. It was just way too busy growing. That energy burst of new neurons that built your brain also overwrote the memories stored inside it. It's like your brain kept building new rooms and tearing down the old walls in the process. But there's more. To form autobiographical memories, you need something most people take for granted: a sense of self. Language isn't just a label for your life. It's the architect. It builds the rooms where your memories live. Before words, your world was a chaotic soup of sounds and colors. You had no shelf to put them on. But then, you started talking. Remember the park? Those simple chats with parents changed everything, giving your brain a map. Language gives memory a skeleton. Without it, your past is just water slipping through your fingers. Words make it solid. Here's the kicker. Your culture decides how far back you remember. Kai Wang proved that your heritage shapes your mind. In the West, we love our personal stories. Because we talk about me so much, memories start at age 3. The Maori are the champions of memory. Their rich oral traditions push their first memories back to just 2 years old. But in East Asia, where the group matters more than the individual, those first memories often wait until age 4.